Yes,
I know
sir.
this
New
is
intro. Let's get it. Let's
lit.
get it. Welcome to Three the Hardaway, aka the three-man Jalen Weave, aka the best big three since LeBron D Wade and Bosh, live on YouTube. If you are on YouTube, leave a like in the stream. Of course, comment on the stream or comment in the section after the fact. And subscribe to the channel, man. We on the way to that 200 done. So let's get us there, man. Let's get it. Let's get it. If you don't know who I am the walking bucket, providing instant offense. It's your boy Savage up here. We got the coach on the sidelines, taking them to school on and off the court. And when I say it's really shitty, it's really shitty. Shitty. You didn't get Damian Lillard, but how are you feeling?
As the shirt says, Black Lives Matter.
Is that your way of saying Trey Tyler Hero? Or
That's my way of saying Black Lives Matter.
We also got your favorite DJ, the sample man himself, Mr. Ted Shakir, who also made the beat.
Hey, man, shout out to the sample first and foremost, man. If you know the sample, you from Memphis,
Sure.
you know what's up, man. And we coming out the gate, man. Season 2, y'all know the vibes, man. Come on, that's what we're here for.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Before we get into the
Who did the edits?
Oh, I did.
Yeah, we did the visual edits. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Who found the favorite players? You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to tell people, me and Took are like the dynamic duo when it comes to this, man. We make this happen. We do this. But before we get into the episode today, I do have on sponsorship today. You know what I'm saying? We still low rate, low budget. We ain't making no moves. You know what I'm saying? Ooh. LBR family, we do this, man. We do this. So I am gonna do an ad read for Manscaped. Support for Three the Hardaway is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below the waist grooming. Their products are precision engineered tools for your family jewels. So take care of your family jewels, gentlemen. Manscaped's performance package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 8 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you: 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code LBR Media at manscaped.com. There is a link in the description of this video, so make sure you guys go out there and get that. 8 million guys, man. If my math is correct, that's 16 million balls, unless you're missing the ball. So it might be a little bit less than that. Who knows? Get 20% off and free shipping with the code LBR Media at manscaped.com. Again, that's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Code is LBR Media. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. So I actually got the package the other day from Sharky. Shout out to Sharky. And yeah, I'll be using it this week. So I will let you guys know how that goes for my family jewels.
Yeah, must be a special week.
This might see. Who in the comments? Shout out to the No Bluffing Podcast. Y'all better start back up soon, man. Y'all got training camp, media day for the Grizzlies coming up.
Oh wow!
So we'll lock in with y'all pretty soon, man. But before we begin, you had something to say about some trivia that I might not know, but Sheedy might know.
No. So I do have a trivia. But this is a non-hoops question. This is a non-hoops question, right?
Okay.
All right. So long story short, I was on the phone with my mom and my brother a couple hours ago, right? And it literally just brought me back to the times to where I used to get in trouble. We used to get in trouble growing up, right? We get in trouble by our mom, dad, whatever. Hey, they're gonna take the TV, they're gonna take the game, they're gonna put you in timeout. You might even get a whooping or two. For those who don't know what a whooping is, I can describe it later on because it's clear that y'all youngsters ain't getting y'all asses whooped right now and y'all need it. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. Anyway, I say that to say that when we did get whoopings, when you got to get into the descriptions, our parents used to say, it's hurting me more than it's hurting you. So with y'all being fathers, that's literally been on my mind since the conversation with, my mom. And I wanted to ask y'all as fathers, have y'all hit that stage? And if so, can y'all describe those feelings and those thoughts?
I'll let Sheedy go. He got seniority over this.
Exactly. That's what I'm like. You may be able to answer that, but I know goddamn well Sheedy got an answer. So I need to hear something.
The whole it's hurting me more than it's hurting you. Nah, nigga, it ain't hurting me that much. But I think the part that hurts is just the bad decisions that are made. However, physically, no. Mentally, completely understand. Yes. So I will rock with that answer. for now. I don't need children's services coming after me.
Right.
For
CPS
sure.
come out
It
there,
is
what's
a
going
day
on?
and age, huh?
I think what hurts, quote unquote, is the fact that you know that you train your child better and then they act against what you trained them. And that's what's like, it's hurting me because I'm like, I'm hurt as a parent because you didn't act right, you know? But then again, I mean, sometimes getting your child, like today, I popped Zena on the hand because she was tripping. And I was like, you need this pop because right now you acting out of character right now. So I ask me again about 2 years when she's like 4 and she ever
I
had
will.
a
I will bring
conversation.
this conversation back up in 2 years because y'all have different spaces.
Yeah, and I think it's different, like because he's gonna have a girl, right? That's older,
Right.
and I got a boy that's older, and so like it's
My boy
different.
coming, he go.
Because I feel like that's the only way they learn sometimes.
Nah, man. I do advocate for if your child need to be disciplined, and you need to discipline your child. I ain't all this. I mean, gentle parenting, quote unquote, that's cool. But sometimes you need to put that foot down for real, or the foot up in somebody's ass. Just gotta take care of business.
Hey, shout out to y'all. Y'all kids gonna be great. I appreciate y'all for answering. I know it's a little invasive, but it's literally on my mind. I can't answer it because I ain't got no damn kids. So
Not yet.
you know, yeah, not yet. God willing. Not yet. You know, I gotta find a wife first, and you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
Speaking of kids, we did see Mr. Damian Lillard carrying his kids in Milwaukee.
Come on, Ty.
Through the crowd, and they were talking about how, oh man, look at this man. He ain't trying to he ain't talking about Portland. He ain't missing Portland. Blah blah type of stuff. But we did get breaking news a couple of days ago and today, which we'll get into later on in the show. But Damian Lillard, he is not a member of the Miami Heat, which we, for the most part, all thought was going to happen. I assumed it was going to happen at some point because he made it clear where he wanted to go. But instead of Miami, he's going to probably just as good a situation with a definitely more talented player available in Giannis, former MVP. Here go two shaking his head about Giannis. But Damian Lillard is now a Milwaukee Buck. He leaves the Western Conference going to the Eastern Conference. The Bucks ultimately got, of course, just Damian Lillard. The Blazers, for that moment, got Jrue Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, Toumani Camara, a 2029 Bucks pick, and multiple Bucks pick swaps, which means they're getting the better of the two picks, depending on which one has a higher one or not. They have the ability to switch those picks. The Suns got Nurkic, they got Nasir Little, Keon Johnson, and former Grizzly Grayson Allen. So that's the initial deal. Of course, we did get breaking news today because, of course, today is the Hardaway podcast, which means we're going to get breaking news at some point, which we did before we get on the show. And Jrue Holiday was ultimately traded to the Boston Celtics. Let me pull up the details of the trade. Jrue Holiday was traded to the Boston Celtics for Robert Williams, Malcolm Brogdon, 2024 Golden State first pick, a 2029 unprotected Boston first round pick to the Blazers as well too. So a lot of movement, which are with contending teams, has happened. But we'll get into Jrue Holiday later. But I want to get into Damian Lillard first. What was y'all's immediate thoughts on the Damian Lillard trade from whatever angle y'all want to approach it?
I would love to hear Sheedy's point first because he's supposed to be a Heat, and I really think the NBA need to be on investigation.
Jimmy said
that. Come on, man.
I've been on here. Yes, that one. Who wouldn't want Damian Lillard on their team? I think Damian Lillard on the Grizzlies, Damian Lillard on the Warriors. Like, I mean, Jesus Christ, I can keep naming teams. Like, he's one of those top 10 players that you would kind of trade for everything. But also, I became more of a realist after the initial, I guess, talk after a week or two, and there was no traction to that. I became more realistic with the trade because Pat Riley wasn't moving, and our GM wasn't moving because Damian Lillard said that he wanted to be with us, and no one else was emerging as a trade partner. And so, by right, Pat was like, "Nah, we good. We're gonna give you Tyler Hero and some picks and some players that are less than Tyler Hero, or you just live with Damian Lillard." And so, I won't take Miami perspective because we'll talk about that later. From a Portland perspective, this is a great deal for Portland. Portland gets a lot back for really two guards, Damian Lillard and Jrue Holiday. They get a lot back in their return. I think the winner of the trade, immediately speaking, is going to be the Suns, if I'm being honest. The reason why I say the Suns is because the Suns provide themselves with more depth than they've had when they first signed this big three or traded for this big three. They have a lot of depth that no one really discusses. And so when KD is out for, whatever reason, right, or Booker's not having an off night or whatever, the Suns have gotten better each trade that they've made since getting Bradley Beal. I think second in this trade scenario is going to be the Portland Trail Blazers. They have a lot of talent around Scoot and Shannon and the other guy that they signed, Lil Penny, or Anthony Simon, around them. I think they're going to get rid of Grant at some point because, why did you sign him this past season when you're getting all this other talent around? You're not really building around him. And so that leaves me with, I don't care if you give the Bucks the win after that or the Celtics. Thank you.
You still think that he better?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. And let me say this. Let me talk about, I guess, the negative part of that I see. The Celtics, they must believe a lot in KP to be a rim protector for them, because that's what Rob Williams was. He might not have given you, 20 points a night or whatever. It doesn't even matter. But his presence, even being that 6'8", 6'9", whatever he was, really affected, if you go back to our series, how we played offense. And even he was getting easy looks on his offensive side too. Malcolm Brogdon, plug and play point guard, can come in and run the team. I don't know what's going on with his injuries. Boston's been really secretive about that, but he gets a new fresh start. But I'm glad that Rob Williams is gone, because I think that we can attack the rim more against Boston. Again, from a Heat perspective, but also now talking about Milwaukee. They just got campaign. Kudos to y'all, Milwaukee, for that as well. But you got him next to Bobby Portis, next to the Antetokounmpos, next to Robin Lopez. When things start boiling and they're not working, Milwaukee, what are you going to do? What lineup are you going to project if things start working right? And there is going to be times like that. And I don't really see that, Jay Crowder, I don't really see them having, I'm not going to say an elite bench, but some people to kind of roll with. And I think that's been also a problem. You're going to expect Dame and Giannis to play over 40-plus minutes a night, as they should. They are all NBA talents. But what happens when this doesn't work? And let me say this, and I'll pass over to two. There's still a brand new head coach in Milwaukee that's trying to put all this together. You got a lot of talent right now. If this doesn't work out this year and they are not crowned, let's not even go as far as the finals. Let's just say Eastern Conference Finals. If they're not crowned Eastern Conference Finals, does Giannis stay? And if he doesn't, then what did Dame just do? He put himself in the same position again to be on a mid-card again in a city that's just as big as Portland, so to speak. Might as well be. It's a lower tier city. Milwaukee, people talking about Milwaukee's this big city. Nobody cares about Milwaukee.
Milwaukee like Memphis. Exact same city.
Let's just be honest here.
Crime, same.
Yeah, it's not a big market. It's not the big market you wanted. So now, when I look at how he came in there, holding his sons, all that, I didn't really see happiness, glory. Yes, God, thank you. I saw, okay, I'm here. Okay, this is my next step. But it wasn't the happiness and joy that I know he would have seen had he been in Miami.
Well,
because that's his destination. And I'll leave you with this. I apologize, and I'll turn it over. Let me say this. We have, hey, Candy, we on time. Black men. We're gonna go down this street real quick, and I'm gonna turn it over to real quick. You have never, ever, as a black man, said, hey, I'm gonna go be with that light skin with the long hair, right? And then a month later, you get with the dark skin with no hair. That don't happen. And you happy. It just don't happen. So he not happy. And it ain't gonna work. And now you married to the dark skin with no hair. We'll call her Antetokounmpo. I pass on.
Disclaimer before we get fired up.
We love all women
We
here.
love all women, y'all.
My wife, love them all.
She is married to a dark-skinned woman. She is married to a beautiful dark-skinned woman. Just so ain't nobody attack us. She is married to a beautiful dark-skinned woman. But go ahead,
So she literally preached everything that I wanted to say, but it's still, where do I start? So Dame gets traded to the Milwaukee Bucks, and literally the first thing that comes in my head was they traded for Dame to not lose against the Heat. And you got to remember, just take it back to when the playoffs first started, when me and you, Savage, were looking at Sheedy for like, hey, give me the Bucks. We're going to take their ass out real quick. Nigga, what? What happened? Took them out real quick, embarrassing with no names. So now the Heat are literally a Dame Lillard away from possibly winning the championship. Meanwhile, you're getting embarrassed by no names and you don't know what the hell to do. Oh shit, let me go ahead and trade a more impactful player, in my opinion. I think when it comes down to the trenches on that Milwaukee Bucks team, Jrue Holiday will be way more impactful than Dame Lillard, but we'll see. It may be too early for me to say. But you trade him. You also trade Grayson Allen, who, regardless of what people say, he started for the Milwaukee Bucks team. He's a 40% shooter. So you trade him away. Okay, cool. Dame come in, like you said, Sheedy. Is he happy? Nah. You know what I'm saying? Kids, y'all go do whatever hell y'all want to do. We just here to play basketball. You know what I'm saying? We here. The two things that really popped off was, one, you hit it. Ding, 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 Sheedy. Coaching. It ain't gonna matter, because the biggest thing about Milwaukee versus Miami was the goddamn coaching. Coach Spo is a way better coach than Coach Bud was last year. And who's the coach now? Coach Griffin. He's a first-year coach, in my understanding. You gonna put him up against the GOAT Coach Spo? That's the issue. And for two, think about who he's going to play with. Savage, you heard me when you said, "Oh, Giannis ain't got to get in his bag no more." Oh, this is when he needs to get in his deepest bag, because if he's not, this whole thing is doomed to fail. And if you asking me as a basketball fan, this whole thing is gonna fail, because the Milwaukee Bucks team, even though Dame is there, how much better as a team are they gonna be combining with the coach, combining with you losing depth, combining with Middleton? We saw how mid he played last year, and he's probably, what kind of player is he gonna be? Brooke Lopez just turned 40 years old the other day. Bobby Portis, he's doing his thing. I ain't gonna slouch him. And then the rest of the bench is okay. But when you go against a Miami Heat, when you go against the Boston Celtics, who I cannot wait to talk about, when you go talk about them, I mean, is it gonna be Dame time? Dame only got to the second, the Western Conference Finals, or was it the semis or something like that once. Giannis got to the NBA Finals and won against the I Don't Care Bear. Not to hold against him, but it was a Phoenix Suns team that was there for the first time. No, Candy Brooks not 40. He's like 36, 37 though. He old as hell, but he's hooping. But how much Father Time is gonna catch up with all these old ass Bucks players that's on their team? So again, are we supposed to fear the deer? I don't. Not at all. Especially when you got that Celtics team who kudos to Brad fucking Stevens. We punked him when he got his position. Y'all punked him when he traded away Marcus Smart. And what he said, oh, Jrue Holiday out there, he's a better version of Marcus Smart. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and get him. Let's go ahead and make sure we take care of Jaylen Brown. Let's go ahead and make sure we got somebody in the low post, so when game get tough in the playoffs, we can go get an easy bucket in Porzingis. That's what I saw when I watched the Wiz game last year. Sheedy just clearly said that the Heat are better than the Bucks. Who am I to say go against them at this point? So again, did the Bucks get better? Are we really supposed to fear the deer with Dame Lillard, who, in all honesty, could win MVP this season? The Bucks can easily be a number 1, number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference, but it's the playoffs we're talking about. And if Dame don't show up in the playoffs, Giannis out of there in 2 years. Meaning you done wasted Dame Lillard 2 years of, hey, I want to be in Miami. You should have sent me there in the first place. But we'll see.
So look, man. I've rarely seen a trade where I'm like, that makes sense for everybody. Like Dame goes to a great situation in Milwaukee. Aiden gets what he wants, goes to Portland. You give Scoot a big man that can score from the post area. You can do pick and roll, pick and pop with him. That's great. You got Jeremy Grant. Phoenix said elf defense. They don't care about it. They look, we just gonna outscore you.
I have to talk about Phoenix.
they,
Offense win championships. I mean, do I got to even say more? Offense win championship. We're about to see that.
I'm not. They went all in on it, and I am perfectly okay with that. If you're gonna be all in, commit to your culture. You got new ownership. You got a new coach. You got Brad Beal there. Like, I am perfectly fine with what Phoenix is doing because it's different. It's like, okay, this didn't work last year. Clean house. We don't need to do nothing else. I value that when a franchise understands who they are and commits to it. Great. I'm cool with that. Boston got Jrue Holiday. Perfect fit. Like, got a point guard, two-way defender. He should have at some point one DPOY. He still can lock in. We saw him lock up in the finals against Phoenix, snatching the ball from players and going down and scoring buckets. Boston needed that when you replace Marcus Smart because Malcolm Brogdon was not going to do that. Robert Williams is always hurt, at least in recent years. So looking at it from a Milwaukee standpoint, I said it on Twitter, like, this is instantly a not contending because they're going to be a contender regardless of what they had, but this makes you even better than what you already had. Jrue Holiday was declining in terms of like his value with Milwaukee. His value is better in Boston now. Of course, it's not even like a second option or third option. He's like a afterthought. He's like, you got JT, you got JB, you got KP, and now you got Jrue. That's the fourth option. He just got to play defense. That's great. In Milwaukee, he has to score the ball a lot. That's not what Milwaukee needs. Milwaukee needs Damian Lillard to help out Giannis because Giannis, you can't just go to the goal and pound your way. What happened last year? You got hurt. And so now you got Dame who can like spread the defense out, shooting 35-foot threes, open up the floor for Giannis. That's going to be better for him and better for Milwaukee. And you still got Chris Middleton, who by the way, is the third option now, which is exactly what he needs to be as a third option. When Middleton gets going, that's perfect for
third option.
You said what?
He been a third option.
I'm saying like they alternate though between Jrue and Middleton sometimes.
Yeah, he said it's more clear and distinct. Yeah,
it's a pecking order. It's gonna be Giannis and or Dame number one, and then clearly Chris Middleton is like the third option. But he still can score if he's healthy, which is again a question mark. I ain't gonna ask question mark. That works for them. I love this move because not only did you get Dame, you stopped Miami from getting Dame. That's even better. So obviously within the first year or two, they have to win a championship. They have to. Like, you can't go out there and slow out because Giannis, he has no ties to Milwaukee after this season or next season. He can leave if he wants to and go to Miami, hell, if he wanted to. But I think this is a perfect move for Dame, a perfect move for Giannis, a perfect move for Milwaukee. I can't see anybody out East beating them. I mean, Miami can, do it, but I still think I would pick Milwaukee in that scenario. I don't believe in Philadelphia, obviously. Like that's the loser right there, Philadelphia, because y'all ain't getting nothing. Y'all ain't getting nothing for James Harden, who might go to Miami. I don't know. I heard like rumors of like a 3-team deal with Clippers, Miami, and Phoenix. Not Phoenix, but Philadelphia to move Harden to Miami, to move some like Philadelphia just done, in my opinion. But yeah, I love for Milwaukee. For Phoenix, like I said, they can be into the offense, which I'm okay with. Nurkic stay healthy, hopefully. But even then, Phoenix gets additional pieces as far as the depth. I love Grayson Allen. I want the Grizzlies to keep him when he was here. But obviously, he moved on. He played well for Milwaukee in spurts. I think he'll play well next to KD and Bradley Beal and Devin Booker. Defense going to be a question mark. I'm not going to lie. But I also can't lie about they got shooters at every corner in Phoenix. They still got Yuta with Phoenix. Like, he was the best corner shooter in the league. He was the best corner 3-point shooter in the league last year. So they're going to be okay as far as the scoring at least. Now, of course, playoffs will be another question, but right now I'm just worried about the regular season. Like, they're going to make playoffs based on them being good in the regular season. Like I said, Portland's a young team. They're going to do their thing. Boston getting Jrue Holiday. I just love it for everybody, to be honest. Like, I hate that I can't talk bad for anybody in any of these deals. Everybody got better. And the East, like Milwaukee, the only problem they got to face, I still think they're better than Boston, to be honest. But the only problem is Miami, because Miami is just the ultimate wild card. Now, my next question, I don't know if y'all want to get into Miami discussion. My next question is, what does Miami do to get better because they're not just going to sit there and not do anything. I like Jaime Jaquez Jr. I like Jovic. He played well in FIBA. I like Jimmy Butler. Obviously, Bam's going to get better. I don't know about Kyle Lowry. I'm sorry, too. I don't know about Kyle Lowry going forward, but that's my question now. Like, what does Miami do to answer? Because you got to have an answer for Damian Lillard. I mean, you can say one thing about y'all beating them, but how is it going to happen?
Resident Heat fan. Go ahead and discuss. Max Strus and Gabe Vincent don't have the contracts they have unless Tyler Hero goes down. Because they don't get as much time. They don't get as many looks. And so a blessing in disguise for those young men. I hope they do well in LA and Cleveland, respectfully. Tyler Hero's hungry. He's pissed. I hope he doesn't get injured again. Because that, ladies and gentlemen, let me go on record by saying I have seen some dumb plays. The Tyler Hero going for the loose ball and falling on your shooting hand during the playoffs in game 1 may have been one of the stupidest plays I've ever seen done in NBA history. I promise you. I promise you. Because they tell you how to fall when you're young anyway. But regardless, your question is, where do we go? We go right back to the Eastern Conference Finals, if not the finals. That's where we go. And I don't care what 5 lines up against us. I believe in my team enough and my coach enough to scheme and get it done. Now, does that mean we go with the exact same team we had last year? No, we're clearly missing at least 2 players. But Kyle Lowry's contract is an expiring contract that's worth about close to $30 million. Somebody's going to bite for that veteran leadership. As much as I love the plays that he made, especially in the playoffs, if coming off Kyle Lowry means getting a James Harden or getting someone of that caliber that can score or what have you, I'm for it. Because the defense will be there. There's no denying defense is going to be part of the Miami Heat regime. It always has been, always will be. And so we got Thomas Bryant that no one talks about. One of the biggest reasons that we didn't succeed against the Nuggets and even have problems against the Celtics was we couldn't get rebounds. But when you look at our team, it's everyone's all in for rebounds. And we run an offense really through Bam, so to speak. So now when we switch and have Thomas Bryant, more or less the center, who's grabbing rebounds, protecting the rim a little bit differently, we run the offense a little bit differently. We are going to need someone to step up. Whether that's Tyler Hero sending even more. He was 6th man of the year, possibly on his way to being an all-star previous seasons. Or does this Bam's year to assert himself a little bit more? He says he's going to step out and shoot the 3 more. No, sir, I don't need that. I need your mid-range to get together. That's what we need. Because if people don't sag off him as much as they did during the regular season and playoffs, he becomes more dangerous offensively is what we need. We have Highsmith, who didn't get as many looks, but defensively, he's a lockdown defender. Not starting Caleb Martin is going to be huge for us. I don't really like Kevin Love still being the starter, but I live with it because at any given point, Kevin Love can give you 9 points off from 3 at any given point and still collect at least 4 to 5 rebounds with an outlet pass. So, again, to answer your question, we go right back to Eastern Conference Finals. The same way we've been there, 4 out of the last 5 seasons? Well, I'm calling it now. 3 out of the last 4 seasons. For sure, we've been in the Eastern Conference Finals. One year we came up short with a shot. The other year we got beat by the Bucks because we beat the Bucks the previous year and the year after that. But who's counting that, right? Milwaukee.
My question, real quick, City, is like when y'all got to the finals, Jamal Murray gave y'all trouble.
Yes.
I mean, Jimmy was asked to do be two-way, literally, and you can't. At that point during the season, you're tired. It's deep into the playoffs, whatever. I feel like Jrue Holiday would have been perfect for that scenario as a veteran point guard that can play D or just a defender in general. Let me ask you this, because I've said this before on this podcast. How would you feel if at some point y'all made a call to Houston for like Fred VanVleet and or Dylan Brooks for the purposes of for Dylan anyway to get perimeter defense? How would you feel like some kind of scenario with it?
Yeah, so I even thought we might get Dillon Brooks before he got signed to Houston. I felt like it was just in the cards for him to go from Memphis to Miami because of the player he was and is. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be hurt. Here's the problem. And before we go any further, the problem with the Miami Heat, we don't have any trade assets. After Kyle Lowry, if we're not going to trade we're not going to trade Tyler Hero for Dame. You think I'm going to trade Tyler Hero for
do a 3-team, 4-team to make the money work? Dillon Brooks, look, y'all have to solve the issue. You couldn't stop Jamal Murray in the finals. How you gonna stop Damian Lillard? That's a Super Saiyan Jamal Murray. Like something got to give with it.
I mean, you also got to think that one of them played with Jokic, which is the best player in the game, and one of them can't
Giannis now. Like
one of them can't hit a free throw or a mid range to save his life. So I mean, it's apples and oranges, but I'd rather have apples with Jokic. So you know,
then they're freshly squeezed orange juice.
Right? I mean, all that Pope and shit. I don't know about like no damn Pope.
To be honest, to answer your question a little bit more, we didn't get rid of some guys that defended guards pretty well. Caleb Martin defended Jalen Brunson pretty well. Again, he got tired as he got on because he had to guard Jaylen Brown too. We got Highsmith coming off, who also played Jaylen Brown very well in that third round for us, but again, just wasn't quite ready maybe for the bright lights. We are ready for Milwaukee. I don't give a damn what 5 is put out there. I don't care about Damian Lillard. We will find a solution and make it happen. That's it. Like, I understand top 75 player, 6-time All-Star, whatever time in NBA. I don't care. We didn't care about Giannis. We're not going to care now that he has a new running mate. We're going to win in 6. That's it.
He's just out of the game.
That's it. No matter if that's Caleb Martin locking him down, like I said, he played some really good defense against Jalen Brunson or Highsmith, or we just find a way like we always do with someone else that may step up out of nowhere that we're not discussing right now and will happen. We also got a trade deadline. We ain't even hit that yet. We ain't even hit Thanksgiving yet. And I think because we haven't traded anything and we have that asset of Kyle Lowry and maybe someone else, I do not believe we'll get rid of Hero, Savage. I'm being honest with you. I don't believe, not this season. I think Tyler Hero is always a summer thing. If we don't get rid of him over the summer, then we got him. And that's unfortunate because he's been in trade talks for the past 4 years.
I feel like for that reason, he would have to be traded at some point. At some point, he's like, all right, man, y'all keep messing with me. Like, I want to go somewhere else. And he think he that guy. I mean, we know he think he that guy. So I feel like he has to at some point within this season. And I think that in typical Miami fashion, y'all going to sputter to start the season, win games here, rest here, blah, blah, blah. And then at some point, you're going to have to trade Tyler Hero for whatever it is y'all need, which I think is perimeter defense. I feel like as far as scoring, I'm never concerned about scoring with y'all because y'all find a way to win a game, to muck it up, to slow it down. Y'all need somebody that can stop that dude. That's because you talked about a solution. You a math teacher, shit. You added a new variable to the equation, so you got to figure out a way to solve for X, literally, in terms of like Damian Lillard is being X. So yeah, man, I still trust you and your Miami Heat opinion, but I'm like, all right, Miami, like something got to give. And we've seen like Heat fans are like pissed on Twitter. They mad at Pat Riley. They mad at Pat Riley. They mad at the what was it, Cronin?
Cronin.
Cronin. I'm like, y'all gotta relax, man. These folks know what they're doing. They've been a steady team. They one of the youngest like teams in terms of like being in the NBA actually, like compared to like the freaking Boston and LA. But they've somehow won what, like how many rings y'all get? Like 3. Like it's teams like the Grizzlies have none. I can't remember last time the Kings won a playoff, like multiple playoff series. Like, come on. But
can I add this, and now I'll switch over to the other part about the Heat fans being in uproar is what are our trade assets? We have not had trade assets since prior to LeBron, for real. And LeBron, we traded 2 first rounds, 2 second rounds. People are like, oh yeah, we're big game people, whatever. Who have we gotten since LeBron? Like,
hey, matter of fact, the last time y'all had trade assets was in that Shaq trade. It was like Lamar, Butler.
That's it. 2006. That's what we're talking about here. It's 2023. Like, We don't have the trade assets. So you can be mad at Cronin, you can be mad at, but we didn't have anything else to give. Nothing else that wouldn't deteriorate from our team. If you put Bam in that scenario or Jimmy in that scenario for the trade instead of Tyler Hero, maybe Portland bites, yes, but then you lose the mystique of what the Miami Heat are. So what's the point of the Dame Lillard trade? People have to be conscious of what we have, and we don't have much to trade, honestly.
I think what's interesting about this Miami situation, right, is the fact that Dame Lillard said that he wants to go Miami, right? And when we think about the superstars that's been traded over the last couple of years, they said they wanted to go here, and if they didn't get there, they ended up there eventually. So what I'm saying, essentially saying, is damn near may end up at Heat eventually. But why not go ahead and let that play out? And it could be because most of the trades that's happened, they traded him for him. They did what? That stupid ass trade. Like, how many times have we kind of done that for above average players traded for the minimum players? What I'm saying is, Sheedy, you saying that y'all don't have any trade assets. I believe y'all do. I believe that the money that y'all got, especially for expiring contracts like a Kyle Lowry, could come in handy. You talk for 15 minutes and you didn't bring up two names who I think will be essential in the Heat in next season. And those are the shooting guards. Duncan Robinson had a hell of a playoffs last season. I think he found his touch and his swag back, in order to continue to contribute for the Heat team. And number two, Josh Richardson. A lot of people are like, who? You got to understand, Josh Richardson, the last time he played with the Heat, he averaged 16.5 points a game. So you talk about him replacing, Caleb Martin or not a Caleb Martin. Help me out real quick. Out of Max Strus.
Gabe Vincent and Max Strus.
Gabe Vincent. We didn't know who they were versus Josh Richardson, who the last time you played here, you had a hell of a you started pretty good. And Duncan Robinson, again, finding his touch and that big, paycheck that he's getting, eventually will be able to offload that. Kyle Lowry, you can offload that. Tyler Hero, like, you got pieces, you know what I'm saying? And you're going to find a situation to where you can get a disgruntled superstar. I'm not saying this will happen because, of course, I don't want this to happen. But let's say, Karl Anthony Towns, we've said on this podcast, he don't really necessarily fit with the Timberwolves. Okay, OG Pat Riley, who y'all done pissed off already, may make that call. And if all the names I just said can be offered in a package for Cat, it's a win-win for
Not with Jimmy there.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. And shout out to Jordan Son, man. That's another thing. Jordan Son to figure out how to beat each and every one of these Eastern Conference teams. Pat Riley, Spo, they got the confidence. Like, we know how to handle them. Oh, y'all got Dame. Okay, cool. We'll adjust, but we'll still beat y'all because they did it 4-1. It should have been a sweep. So is Dame Lillard four games gonna make y'all 4 games better against the should be a better Heat team? That's why I can kind of see what Sheedy mindset is being confident in this team.
I respect it. I respect it from Sheedy because, I mean, you've seen the games. I mean, I've watched it too, but you are a Heat fan, so you know the emotional pendulum back and forth vocabulary word for the day, pendulum.
Yeah, man, come on.
But you know the emotional swings of like the series. Like, you never wavered last year, ever. Like, you never wavered. So I'm like, you know your team. So I respect it. Just from my emotional standpoint, I'm just like, we'll see. But I mean, that's been a great like trade for everybody, man. So I appreciate like the teams making those moves, man. Because I mean, the league is open right now. There's literally parity in the league. Denver Nuggets won their first championship in like 30 years, or however long it's been, or ever. I don't even remember. But the fact that Denver won, you said what? I
think it was their first one.
I feel like it was.
Yeah, it was the first one ever. Yeah. I don't recall them even. I mean, they made it, but they never.
I don't recall them ever winning. But like, and even then, Miami with undrafted picks made the finals. That screams parity in the league. So everybody making moves to make that happen I appreciate it. But real quick, I do want to get to Jrue Holiday before I get into the Dame portion, the Dame and the Chris Haynes article that I sent y'all earlier. How do y'all feel about Jrue Holiday being in Boston? I can kind of go first. Like I said, I think this is what Boston needed to replace Marcus Smart. I think that Jrue Holiday is he will understand his role. I think he intentionally was like, y'all trade me to Boston because I want to see Milwaukee. I know they secrets. I know what they want to do. I want to see the guy they traded me away for. I mean, Dame is the guy they said, you know what, we want Dame. We don't want you. He said, okay, all right, bet. I'm going back to the Eastern Conference. I want to see Dame one-on-one. And I ain't gonna lie, that's a matchup because Jrue Holiday can't sit in that chair. We know he can do that. But overall, I do think, Boston did lose Robert Williams, who was effective for them at center, just couldn't stay healthy. They did lose Malcolm Brogdon, who was sixth man of the year at one point, also rookie of the year when he was with I believe Milwaukee. But yeah, I like it for Boston. I still think they'll be better than Milwaukee, just in terms of like the hierarchy of the East. But I mean, they need to respond accordingly, and they did. So I feel good about it, but I don't think they're better than Milwaukee.
I think when we were looking at the playoffs last season, and why I'm sorry to bring this shit up, but one of the reasons why, again, for the Grizzlies, I'm sorry, y'all, but Marcus Smart, right? A lot of times in those games, he would be known as a shot chucker. You can go back and watch it, especially at the end of the game when Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown should have the balls in their hands. He was chucking up shots. He was a detrimental to the team. Will he do this? Will he bring that same energy to the Grizzlies, y'all? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But for the Celtics to replace him with one of the smartest, selfless players in the NBA, underrated players in the NBA, he talked about how he want to retire in 2-3 years. Okay, let's say that is the case. Then he's probably finna go out for the next 2-3 years, all in. And you got him with this Boston Celtics team, who's top to bottom, to me, on paper, is the best team in the Eastern Conference. On paper, of course, they got to beat the Heat, and until they do it, that's when I believe it. But I'm just saying, on paper, top to bottom, Jrue Holiday, Jaylen Brown. I'm just looking at who's starting. Jason Tatum, Al Horford, the quote-unquote elite shooter he is. And then Porzingis coming in averaging 25 and 12. That's a nice starting lineup with Derek White and a couple other pieces coming off the bench. So, of course, yeah, you lose Robert Williams. But, you just said he stayed hurt. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, how effective is he going to be on Portland? Especially for a team that may or may not make the playoffs. They probably won't make the playoffs next season. So, I think the Celtics just solidified themselves as being the favorite to come out the Eastern Conference. But again, until they beat the Heat, if that's the matchup that's in the Eastern Conference Finals, I'm not betting no kind of money because I literally can't answer until I see the Celtics beat the Heat, and the Heat still, quote unquote, maybe a worse team in, not y'all opinion, but in y'all's opinion, I see it. But both teams to me are still better than the Milwaukee Bucks.
If it's Boston versus Miami, I'll pick Boston just because I trust Boston. I mean, Miami more than Boston. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But if it's Boston versus Milwaukee, I'm picking Boston by a landslide. So that's kind of like how I grade that. It's weird.
Yeah. It's style play fights. Is what it is.
It sounds like there's only 3 teams in the Eastern Conference.
That's why I said Philadelphia's a loser because they got nothing. They got nothing.
Who's the 4th best team in the East? I'm sorry, y'all. Damn.
The Knicks or the Cavs?
I'm gonna go Knicks. I go Knicks. I'm just curious.
They got trade.
I go Knicks.
Let me see real quick.
Or the Cavs.
So you said
Milwaukee, on Indiana either. Like you've been right about the Indiana Savage, and I'm sorry to extend the subject, but I just thought about it.
I don't trust Cleveland. I guess New York. Yeah.
Hey,
I guess New York. Yeah.
I don't trust Tom Thibodeau. See, that's the problem. You're gonna run your knees to the ground and everything like that. And I don't trust Julius Randle when the spotlight is on. Okay, but anyways, the question was about the Boston, right? Mm-hmm. And so let me throw this scenario from last year to us as Grizzlies supporters that we are. The defense for the Grizzlies was decent with Dillon Brooks, but became better because of Jaren Jackson Jr., a rim protector, not someone around a 3-point perimeter defender, so to speak. They're going to miss Robert. No matter how many games he said he played, whatever, they're going to miss him because KP ain't that guy.
Real good point.
KP ain't that guy. Al Horford one more jump in the air for him. He come back on that knee. He gonna be done. And so, to be honest, when I look at the Celtics, I'm savoring my mouth because, listen, after I get past Jaylen Brown may or may not play defense. Tatum, I think Tatum has to be in a big game to play defense, like when he was playing against KD. Jrue's going to sit in that chair. I'm not against that. But once you're past that, I'm not really afraid of you. That's me personally. Now, let me go on record by saying this. And I'll say this with my whole chest. Fuck you, Portland. Because Portland, you traded to where? Milwaukee and to Boston and said, fuck Miami. That's what you did. Let's go ahead and be honest here. Nobody want to talk about it. I'll say it for you.
Come on,
y'all traded Dame to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
You wanted to piss on us. And then you say, oh, well, we got Jrue Holiday.
Did it twice,
we traded to Boston.
Did it twice.
So now they're going to take a shit on us. Bet, Portland.
Hey, when y'all play Portland, I need to figure that out.
I don't know. I'm taking a day off.
I need to see that.
I'm taking a day off because I'm there. I might fly to Portland. I don't care. How dare y'all? How dare you?
Hey,
but anyways, we were talking about, Boston. Let me compose myself again. But same thing. So Derek White, who they got? Sam Hauser. I don't know who else. Again, here we go again. I don't know what's behind them. But I think Jason Tatum's going to have an electrifying year this year because he wants that bag more than Brown has, and he'll rightfully so. You're also stuck in this conundrum. You say Milwaukee's in a win year now, the Celtics in a win year now as well, because I believe right now Jrue Holiday's contract, who he'll be done. If he says he's going to be done, he might be done. Him and KP both have, I think, 2 years left, this year and next year. So both of these teams are going to be fighting for whatever it is that they think they're going to. Both of these teams are going to be fighting to play the Heat. I'm going to go ahead and say it for you, to play the Heat. And we'll take whatever scraps left over. But I think I like what Boston did to be. I'm not even about to talk more about the Heat. I like Jrue Holiday. I wish we would have got Jrue Holiday, to be honest, in Miami. I think getting Jrue instead of Dame, and after all of that, would have been a great fit. I'd have been fine. But we didn't. And so we pick ourselves up and we keep moving like we always do. I just hope that Joe also coaches better this season. I saw some lapses with his coaching last season, especially in the playoffs, with when he called timeouts, how to utilize his timeouts better. He's one of those coaches, I think he tried to save his timeouts to the end. And you don't need to always save your timeouts for end. Ladies and gentlemen, you can foul, by the way, basketball coach here. Take the foul. Your players need to rest, take a foul. Foul. Because sometimes you need to call that timeout and get your team's ass for them to pick it up. You can't be losing by 15, 20 points, whoever that Timberwolves coach was, and expect to still win a game. It ain't going to happen. So I think there's some big shoes to fill, but the Celtics definitely got better on the backcourt, but they're going to hurt themselves on the front. Like that, again, when I get past those three, Al Horford, KP, I don't even know the other guys. I don't know. And hopefully we talk about Williams being hurt. I hope KP don't get hurt, because that's 30+ million getting hurt. And if he get hurt, ooh, sad day. But I'll leave it alone.
So going back to Damian Lillard, Chris Haynes, if y'all know the viewing audience and listening audience, if y'all know who Chris Haynes is, he's I don't want to call him a blogger, a journalist for Bleacher Report. And I think it was Yahoo at some point. I can't remember, but whenever he gets information from Dame, it's pretty much gospel from Dame. Like, as far as this is what he got from Damian Lillard. So that's why you don't really see Shams or Woj getting the first story about Dame. That's why you hear it from Chris Haynes. But Chris Haynes came out, and ultimately he had an article that was pretty damning and damaging of Portland. Again, from Dame's point of view, where Portland, they discussed that they were, in prior years, they were talking about making a contender around Damian Lillard, and they did at least somewhat try. How well did they try? We don't know, but they did get rid of like CJ, his running mate, brought in Jeremy Grant, brought in Nurkic, brought in different players like Simons. He elevated to a starting role. So they tried to make a contender, and it ultimately didn't work out. They had one Western Conference Finals appearance, ran to Tuke's Golden State Warriors, got up out of there pretty quick. And then from there, it's just kind of been a struggle for Portland. And so this year, Dame had a great year. I think he had a career high in scoring, had 70 points this year at one point to match Spider Mitchell. And so Dame was balling. And then he did have an injury at some point. And down the right, quote unquote, he did have an injury at some point, quote unquote. And then Portland said, you know what? We want you to tank so that we can get a better pick. You had high odds to get Victor. And Dame sat out, and Portland was 1-9 in those final 10 games. Did get a better pick, but not the one that they ultimately would have wanted with Damian Lillard. And so Dame did make the request to go to Miami. He was adamant about that. For him, at least in his words, it was Miami or bust. When he couldn't go to Miami, he came back to Portland and said, hey, I want to come back to Portland. I want to just make it work for the time being. This is where I want to be. And when he went back to Portland, the GM in Portland said, nah, that's it. We getting you up out of here. And what ended up happening is what we've discussed today is Dame got traded to Milwaukee. Apparently, that's not what Damian Lillard wanted. And so there are people on sports media, on Twitter and on TV that are saying that Portland did wrong by Damian Lillard and how they handled the situation, because he is the best player in franchise history, better than Clyde Drexler, better than Bill Walton. He's a top 75 player of all time. Like, we respect Damian Lillard. But how do y'all feel about what y'all saw from the Chris Haynes article? Did Portland do Damian Lillard wrong, or was this just business as usual for an NBA franchise?
I think it's both. Weird for me to say. So when I saw the trade, I immediately thought, okay, Portland traded him to the Bucks. Okay, who did the Bucks give up? All they had to give up was Jrue Holiday and Grayson Allen. Okay, cool. That should put Dame in a situation to win. But at the same time, Dame chose Miami for a reason, and it wasn't just to play with Jimmy Butler. It wasn't just to play, with Bam or coach with Coach Spo. Dame Lillard been in the league, 2011, 2012? Like, come on, man. He's literally your greatest player. Help him out. You know what I'm saying? And we literally can see the video. Yeah, he's smiling, he's being happy, but he's not excited to be where he wanted to be. And y'all say Miami stood pat. Yeah, because it's a business. Pat Riley stood pat because why should I continue to give up assets when I know that y'all got a player that said he wants to be here, that we should know that he should be here. Y'all go ahead and give us a blessing. Tyler Hero went ahead and took Miami Heat out of his bio months ago. This trade should have happened months ago. So again, I think something or somebody's tampering something need to be happening in the NBA. Ain't no way in hell that Dame Lillard is not in a Miami Heat uniform. You know what I'm saying? Do you think he want to go Coach Spo versus a new coach in the organization? Michael Jordan's son versus winner chicken dinner. Come on, man. Miami. No offense, Milwaukee.
I was this close to bringing that clip today. I was this close.
Come on, man.
This close.
Bring it if you want. I already said it now. I already said it. But now, come on, man. It's now you gotta wait 2-3 years because he's still on the full contract. So he is gonna be a professional about it. It does give him a situation to win, but it's gonna come a time where he's gonna go against a team that he should have been on. We gotta put them kind of emotions and feelings out there as well. So he should be in Miami Heat. F you, I ain't gonna get into the full extent, but F you, Portland Trailblazers. Even though I want Scoot Henderson to win Rookie of the Year, that's my dog. No, DeAndre Ayton is not a top 5 pick. And get the hell out of there. Top 5 center. I'm sorry. I read a report that said he was a top 5 center. That's what the Portland Blazers thought he was, and that's why they got him. Do I agree? Absolutely not. Jeremy Grant, get the hell on out that hellhole. That's all I got to say. F you, Portland.
Yeah, and just quickly about the Aiden. The Aiden is the Greg Oden curse. that they got. So good luck with that, by the way. I think the thing about the article, it is business as usual. And that's the part that sucks. As much as I would love my employer to tell me not to come to work for 10 days and I'll still get paid. Now, don't get me wrong. I'll send my black ass right here for 10 straight up. Okay. It is business as usual. And it really sucks because they may have had some type of chance to, if not make the play-in tournament, affect the seeding of the play-in tournament with the teams that they were playing against. And he didn't get an opportunity. Damian Lillard didn't get the opportunity to really play his best basketball, so to speak, towards the end. And I agree. At one point, we talked about it on this show. At one point, early on in the season, we're talking about top backcourts. And him and Anthony Simons at one point were one of the top backcourts in the league. They were killing. Portland was a number 1 seed in the West, I believe. So to go from that to, oh, no, just sit it out. We'll try to get a top pick. They got a top pick. They got a number 3 pick, as a matter of fact. And you couldn't move that 3rd pick, knowing that it had to be Scoot or Brandon, because we know Victor was taken. Scoot or Brandon will be remaining. No one in the league wanted that pick for a veteran to team with Damian Lillard. Actually says a lot about y'all's organization too. Because again, as I've mentioned before on the show, with Portland, who the hell have y'all signed in the past? I don't know. Let's talk 2 decades now. No one. For real. No big names. So it has to come with a trade. And I hate it. I hate it for Damian Lillard because, again, I don't see the complete Jordan that I know I would have seen had he come to 305. But in the other aspect of this, too, is like Portland's like burning bridges. Like, you can't come back. Don't ever come back again. Blah, 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 blah. And I think Dame was saying, not even on this report, but I saw somewhere else where, like, you know, if stars aligned again, that he wouldn't mind going back to Portland for maybe the ending part of his years, which I think is kudos to him. But you're talking about the greatest player to put on a Blazers jersey. And he's now in Milwaukee. And if hear us out, ladies and gentlemen of the jury of the court, if in 2 years, this year, next year, the Bucks are not in the finals, winning the championship, Giannis gone. And now Dame's in the same situation he was just in because of his contract. Because what? Where he gonna go with that $60 million? Milwaukee gonna stay right there. And ain't nobody gonna pay that $60 million. Well, somebody might. We might. But at the end of the day, I hate it because we don't talk enough about the business of basketball. We talk about the business on the floor, but the off the floor business is detrimental to some of the health of our men and women, WNBA as well included, with some of the stuff that they make these players go through and sit down for. So that's my piece, man. But just remember, Black Lives Matter.
I thought you were saying Miami and 5. But yeah, man.
I said 6. I'm gonna give him 6. I give you Damian Lillard, that's fine. I give him 6, but I digress.
Yeah, man. From the jump, even when this started, I was like, Portland has no reason to give Dame what he wants if there's an inferior package with Miami, which it was. So I'm not surprised in how they handle business. Honestly, I kind of respect it. Where the GM, like, that's the kind of GM I would want, where it's like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, I gotta do what's in the best interest for the organization, which is kind of shitty to do to your best player. But once it got to the point where Dame made it public, where he wanted to go, and it was very specific, that kind of lowers the price. So he really could have gotten more, but because of what happened is with Dame saying, I want to go here, that kind of threw off the price of it. And you really kind of, you know, got him into a corner to where he had to make a decision one way or the other. And when you're in a corner, you do what's best for you, not for what's best for the other person. And so it is what it is at this point. I think Dame will forget about it once he starts playing ball with Giannis, and he'll be okay. If he wants to go to Miami, he'll get there at some point. He got 2 years left. If Giannis asks for a trade, if it don't work out, I think it will. But if it just happens to not work out, he'll be all right. Somebody will still want Dame Lillard in 2 years, I'm sure. Like, players are playing beyond into their mid 30s and still being effective. We've seen Chris Paul do it. Dame Lillard doesn't have an extensive injury history. He had one last year, quote unquote, but I mean, he still averages like a career high in scoring if I'm not mistaken. So somebody gonna want Dame Lillard if he happens to get out of that contract. It might still be Miami. It might be San Antonio with Victor. Who knows? I'm not gonna throw that into the ether, but yeah, man, I think they'll be all right. Both sides have gotten into better situations, at least for down the road. They'll be okay. They'll be all right. We actually kind of early, y'all, or on time, I would say, as far as ending the show. I will say this: we do have time for Took's little question that he had. Do you want to ask it, Took, or you want to wait till next week?
Yeah, no, I go ahead and do it, man, because it kind of, I mean, my answer, I already know my answer. We done talked about the damn team for 30 minutes, but no, I was with a Uber ride, right? And when he hit me, most people ask you, hey, who's your favorite team? Who's the team you really like? But this guy asked me, what team do you not like the most or dislike the most? I'm sorry. Like, who's your least favorite team? And I was kind of stumped. I'm like, damn, ain't nobody really asked me that. So, of course, I thought about it. And then, of course, I asked the question to y'all. Who is y'all least favorite team? And I've been talking 30 minutes about my least favorite team, which is the Bucks as of now. So, and this is not me hating on Dame. I really want Dame to win a ring, just not in Milwaukee.
You hating on Giannis. Okay, I got you.
But Giannis, my thing with Giannis, bro, is like these next 2 years, in all honesty, is going to define whether we call Giannis good or great. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how y'all feel about Giannis. I don't know if y'all consider him a great right now, as far as, I guess, greatest power forward, greatest center. I don't know where people will rank him, but I don't have him in my top 5 all time right now.
I would have to look and see. I had to look and see where he is, but I mean, he's an all-time great, obviously, but I don't know where he would be as far as like power forwards. But I had to look
because for me, I can't put him in the same sentence as Tim Duncan.
Oh no,
as Kevin Garnett,
not yet.
As Dirk Nowitzki, just skill-wise, right? Yeah. And that's why when I joke about Giannis's bag because in his skill set, because I want to see more from him in order for me to be able to call Giannis a great power forward. Anthony Davis. Like players that can literally do it all. Like he's still at power forward for a reason. I don't know if it's a mental thing for the Bucks. I don't know if it's a skill thing for the center. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I want to see more from Giannis. And until then, and he keep on with the win a chicken dinner, and then we all saying F you to Portland. You know what I'm saying? Damn, it may be Portland. You know what? It's Portland because I actually do want Dame to succeed in some kind of way. It's Portland. Screw you, Portland. He has to win another ring.
I don't know what this is. He said
he has won the first round of title fight. Thank you, NK. That's literally what I've been saying since the end of the season last year. Thank you. And is he gonna win another ring? I don't know if you just checking in. Make sure you check out the rest of the pod. But in my opinion, no. Dame Lillard get out of there.
So he was saying, or NK, I don't know, him, them. I'm gonna use my pronouns, don't matter.
Yeah, proverbs.
Are we saying he has to win another ring to get in the top 12 of power forwards of all time? I hope that's not it. Because he doesn't need another ring to be a top 12 power forward of all time. No,
he doesn't. The whole thing,
top 12 ish.
Yeah, top 12 altogether. I even if he has a second ring, I don't think he enters that.
Yeah, oh no.
I'll be honest. I just have too much love and appreciation for what I've seen in the earlier days. Yeah, for sure. My as of today, my least favorite team is the Portland Trailblazers. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Like you shit on us twice. Are you fucking kidding me?
Hey, no. I didn't think of that from that perspective, shit, until you said it. I was like, damn, they did it twice.
They did it. They did. They said, you know what? Screw you, Miami. I'm trading to Milwaukee and I'm trading Boston.
The top 2 to 3 teams.
Look, they looking at James Harden like, can we do something for James?
They gonna mess around and get James Harden out of nowhere.
Do you really want to be there?
Yeah, bro. I'm over there with Portland. They can suck a dick. Over it.
Shitty man as hell.
Yes, man. Because that is very strategic. Think about that. That's very strategic to trade those players like that after we said we not budging. Yeah. Ain't no other team available. No other team in the league.
About 20 some other teams. Folks said, nah.
Nobody else with Jrue. That's the package. Suck on another package, Portland.
Yeah, I sure was thinking like, damn, like Milwaukee really didn't give up shit to get Dame. But then I thought about like Jrue Holiday's impact, and I'm not gonna hold him. He's very overrated. But Dame Lillard had a career year last year, so it's like, really? I don't know what to do with my you gotta be the Lakers.
It's not the Lakers. I don't hate the Lakers. I don't know why I think I do not hate the Lakers.
Hate and least favorite are two different things. Just by the way,
they're not my least favorite team. I still enjoy the Lakers, y'all. Like, I do. I promise you, I do. What's ironic is my most hated team is them niggas down the hall. It's the Clippers. I do not like the Clippers, man. Like, I don't mess with them. I love Kawhi Leonard as a player. I love Paul George as a player. I enjoy watching them lose. Like, I haven't really talked about it in a while because I haven't been a Lakers fan. You said what?
How long has this been? If you talked about it in a while, like how long have you had this? Just like,
if you go to my Twitter and like just look up like the throwing up emoji, you're gonna find the Clippers attached to it. I promise you. Because like even back in the bubble, like I made bootleg breakdowns of Doc Rivers wetting himself during the bubble. Wow. I got on Paul George with the brick off the side of the goal. I enjoy watching them lose. I just do. And they haven't been winning lately, so I really don't have a reason to hate them as much. But it's that combination because y'all you gotta remember, I was a Lakers fan at one point. I am a Grizzlies fan. Both those teams hate the Clippers. And so it made sense for me to transition. So right now they're not good, so I don't really hate them as much. But when they do good, I want to see them do bad. So the Clippers for me. And also a little bit Pelicans because Pelicans.
Me too.
Little bit Pelicans because they kind of annoying. What up, Aiden? they a little annoying to me, but aside from that, it's the Clippers. That's the main one for me. I don't even hate. Who else could we hate? I don't really hate Dallas. I don't really hate Houston. Boston. I don't really care about that anymore. I don't know. I'm a fan of both teams.
I can see you not liking Boston if you were a Lakers fan, but you're not a Lakers fan, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Even when I was a Lakers fan, I really didn't care. It was just like you don't play them as much. It's like you play them like twice a year, and it's like, all right, this is Lakers and Boston on Christmas. All right, that's it.
I think if you my fault, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think if you poll players where they didn't want to play. Yeah, I think Boston is the number one. Yeah.
Look, Jaylen Brown don't want to play for Boston, and he got paid by him.
Did y'all see? Wait. Before we,
he hates Minnesota, except for drafting $1 million point guards in the first round. But
no, that's facts.
Yeah, are you a Minnesota fan? Because I would hate them if I was a Minnesota fan.
Yeah, I mean, what they got about 300 down low,
man. But go ahead, so you say something. I feel what you were saying.
But dang, it was about Boston. Oh, I forgot.
You said they don't want to play for Boston, or like they don't want to play there, or something like that.
Yeah, I forgot before he posted that.
Damn.
Cut this part. Yeah, I forgot. It will come back to me. It'll be like a text message, unfortunately.
Okay. All good. All right, man. So upcoming this week, we got media day for a lot of the teams coming up. I know the Grizzlies are like the 5th or the 6th coming up this week. But the NBA is back, man. Preseason is about a week and a half. And so we're going to get right into this thing, man. I know football going on right now, but the NBA is back. So we ain't going nowhere. We still going to be low budget, low rated, all these things. Even though we got like 3 sponsors now, it is what it is. We going to keep doing our thing, man. So y'all come back next week. Stay tuned. Stay safe. Be blessed. Peace.